Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jefferies, the present day wise woman, a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This podcast is for those of you who are wanting to really rock your life and health and live from a place of prevention. Let's get into today's episode. I love wearing like leather shoes with laces, from when I was a child. And my dad was actually a bootmaker. And so I grew up wearing really nice leather shoes, and we'd polish them every day after school. And then I went into the Australian Army where I polished my shoes, laces every single day. And I really, really, really love laced up nice shoes. And I was thinking about it when I was surfing, and the things that trigger in my brain are really quite insane. But anyway, they do. So when I lace and I still wear, shoes with laces. So learning to tie shoe laces as a child, it's frustrating, and it's that over and over repetitive, mucking it up, doing a terrible job of it, and then just getting that more, unconsciously competent over time. Same as when you drive a car. Think about how bad you were at driving your car when you first started and how good you are nowadays, and you don't even consciously drive your car. How often have you gotten somewhere and gone, ooh, I don't actually remember driving here. Like, we just do these things automatically, but at some stage we have to learn them. And I was thinking about it when I was surfing this morning. I've been learning to surf now for a few years, and it's still hard work. that moving from a beginner to an intermediate surfer has been challenging for me. It really has been. And I've been really aware of allowing myself to be bad enough at it long enough to get good at it so that I don't give up. And I'm really aware of how I speak to myself about it when I fall off waves. Some days, like this morning, I was off the board more than I was on the board. And that's just what it's like some days. It was messy northerly wind, not that it means anything to you, but it was choppy. And so, not smooth, nice, wonderful rides. It's like riding a roller coaster. And really aware of how I'm setting myself up nowadays to go in for a surf so that I'm not negatively reinforcing a habit behavior that's not working for me. So if I fall off the board, it's not like, I'm still a beginner and I always fall off the board in the sessions. That's no good, because that's repeating a negative thought process that creates the situation that I live into. So the whole, I've talked about before about how our thoughts create our feelings, create our actions, create our results. And so for me, really consciously going out and surfing and dealing with it differently so that I can create a whole new groove in our brain, because every time we have a thought process, it's like it runs another track, and they get really deep and ingrained, and they become part of our absolute being. Well, I want to run different tracks. I want to run positive ones and create new habits, because when we try to break a habit, that's like a negative version. I want to create new habits, but they don't flow at first. And so they're not second nature yet. So how do I do it? How am I consciously doing it at the moment? Well, with surfing, I'm consciously breaking that habit by, when I fall off, I'm laughing. So instead of frustrating, going, fuck it, I fell off the wave, I'm going, and throw my arms in the air and making that graceful dismount as I fall off kind of fun, if that makes sense. Now, why and how did that come into my mind to deal with it that way? Because I've got a couple of mates that I surf with, gorgeous women who are, a similar level or better than me. And I hear them in the distance just laughing their guts out while they surf. And I love it. And I thought, I'm going to make this a conscious way to create a new habit about how I feel about surfing. And so that's what I wanted to talk in today. So bottom line, we can use what's called the 3 R's to break a habit and create a more positive kind of thought process around the habit or whatever. So I want to use surfing as the analogy. The first R is the reminder. Now, this is the trigger or the cue that it's conscious until you learn how to make it unconscious. So for me, when I'm sitting in the car now, I arrive at the beach, and one of the things for me to make sure I just go in and don't talk myself out of it is, as soon as I arrive at the beach, I get out of the car, get my board, do what I've got to do, and just get in. So what I'm doing now is when I pull up, as soon as the trigger is like, I pull up and I'm going, right, that's it. How many times can I laugh during this session? How many times can I laugh my guts out during this surfing session? And the reality is, if you're surfing all the time, not falling off, you're not taking risks, you're not trying to get better. So we have to fall off to improve. That's with anything. You've got to stretch and get uncomfortable and try something a bit different to improve. So falling off is always going to be part of what happens. But I'm consciously saying to myself when I pull up, how many times am I going to laugh today? So that's the reminder. Then the routine. The routine is so that when I fall off that wave, I'm consciously laughing. Now, sometimes sometimes already it's unconsciously happening. I'm just laughing anyway. But the times it doesn't, when I surface out from under the water, then I crack up laughing. I'm trying to get it to the point that as I'm falling off, I'm laughing. And that's the routine part that I'm actually creating. And that's going to be the way for me to do it long enough that becomes a habit to break that pattern, if that makes sense. So then the other R is reward. The reward is I get a dopamine hit. Now, if I give myself a hard time and go, God, Jen, seriously, you've fallen off the board again, that's not going to give me a happy hormone hit. I consciously do things to turn on my happy hormones every single day. I really do. And watch out, I've got a podcast coming on that really soon. So this is another way for me to turn on my dopamine. So the 3 R's are reminder, routine, reward. Reminder, I pull up at the beach, I go, how many times can I laugh out loud today? Woohoo! And I get excited about it. The routine is as I'm getting it to the point where as I'm falling off the wave, I have a laugh as I go down. That's it. And it all happens in a split second, but I promise the more I do it, the more that will become an unconscious habit, a positive habit. And then the reward is I really stoke up my dopamine during my surfing sessions. So that's the 3 R's. If you haven't tried something like that as a way to create a new positive habit for yourself, try it on, because I absolutely know that it's working for me. Now, you've probably heard over the years that it takes 21 days to form a new habit. Well, I'm really sorry, it doesn't. It takes longer. So there was a study that was done in 2009, and it showed that it can take from 18 days to 254 days to break a habit. That's big, nearly a year. It's a study that was run across 96 adults who wanted to change one specific behavior. So for me, I want to change the one behavior, which is not getting frustrated when I fall off the surfboard. So they got 96 people. The first, one person out of the 96 created a new habit in 18 days. Woohoo! 3 weeks. That's great. Guess what? The others didn't. And up to 254 days, which is nearly a year. So when it comes to anything like this, don't put a time pressure on yourself that you're just going to think, nailed it, I'm good within a certain period of time. Give yourself time to be bad at something long enough to get good at it. I know that's something I still consciously do across different areas in my life where I'm trying to learn something, when I'm learning something. And this is the way I'm doing it to, again, bring, more fun, get the dopamine hit, and to keep improving my surfing as I learn. And like it was, when you learn how to tie your shoes as a kid, you didn't nail it the first time. When you started to learn to drive, I bet you bunny hopped it as you were, you jumped the clutch if you're learning in a manual. We have to be bad at something long enough to get good at it eventually. So give yourselves a break. Let it be that flow. And maybe look at bringing in the 3 R's. And so the healthy life hack for this episode is, what one area would you like to create a new positive habit for over the next few months? What would it be? Let's be real. It may take you a year, but let's get you heading in the right direction. What is that one area you would like to create a new positive habit in? And then healthy life hack number 2 is to use the 3 R system to start, make it a system that you can then follow to be able to create that new habit. That's it. I promise it's worth it. Day at a time, get a little bit better, and use the dopamine to reinforce the behavior. I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed my podcast, please let me know by leaving a review on Apple Podcast. Every month, I draw one lucky person who leaves a review on Apple Podcast to have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you're tuning in from, so that you always catch the next episode. And if you would like to receive a free copy of my Feed Your Body ebook, Simply click the link in the comments below, join my newsletter, and we will get that free ebook sent to you. I welcome your emails, and you can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, remember, when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.